watching the Western Athletic Conference on ESPN. Welcome to Abilene, Texas and Moody Coliseum for one of the elite rivalries in mid-major college basketball. Buckle in and enjoy the ride tonight. It's Sam Houston and Abilene Christian. As we take a look at the standings coming into the night, Sam Houston in the 4th spot in a battle at 7-4. Abilene Christian a half game out of Tarleton. This is a terrific matchup, the first of 2 this season between these two teams. As we say welcome courtside, everybody, Zach Carlisle with Cohen Carpenter, Connor Mullins coming up as well. This is a phenomenal matchup. 2 great defenses going at it, and it's always fun when these two get together.
It's always fun, and we were talking about this before the break, but whenever these teams, you can look at the standings, you can look at the win-loss, look at the roster, but whenever these two teams are on the same court, it's an even playing field, and it's going to be a fun matchup here tonight.
Can't wait to watch it unfold. Let's take a look at the impact players. A couple of guards. Quay Grant, remarkable. Damian Daniels playing as well as he could for ACU.
Both of these players are really the epitome of what these teams do well. Quay Grant, it's going to be very efficient shooting. You see the numbers up there on your screen. Damian Daniels is going to look to pass the ball around, share the love, and get those assists.
This is going to be a phenomenal matchup between 2 teams that know each other very, very well, and they've been playing for well over a decade. For more on the matchup, we say hello to the 3rd member of our team, Connor Mullins.
Thanks, guys. Tonight is a battle of 2 longtime rivals for maybe the last time in Abilene for several years as Sam Houston heads to the Conference USA next season. Last year in the Teague Center, Jaden Ray, the Bearcats junior guard, hit the buzzer-beating game winner for Sam Houston in Abilene on January 8th. This time around, ACU has won 4 of their last 5, while Sam has won 5 of their last 6. Guys, back to you.
Connor, thank you very much. We are ready to go. Get your popcorn for this one.
It'll be good.
This one's going to be so, and everybody's ready. The players have been itching to get this thing started. Sam Houston and Abilene Christian. Enjoy your Saturday night. Off we go from Abilene, Texas, the starters. For the Bearcats of Casey Isiagu, Quay Grant, we highlighted him in the open. Spectacular. Javion May, a veteran. We got Powers and Hoofner as well. A great start for the Bearcats with Grant, the leading scorer. For ACU, Daniels with Cameron. Ali Deba once again in the starting lineup with Simmons, the veteran as well, and Joe Pleasant is back for another year with ACU. Ball stripped away. There's that good Sam Houston defense. They're up ahead, and it's a foul as Simmons connects with May. He's going to go to the line as he took a tumble on the baseline.
We're going to take a look at the replay here, but that was a lot really quick, and it looked like Sam Houston kind of taking a playbook out of ACU's playbook there. Good movement in their first possession on offense, coming back on defense, getting the steal, setting up the foul on the other end, going to the charity stripe for 2 is May.
Javion May, the senior out of Chicago, is at the line. Played in 82 games now in his Sam Houston career. Early free throws already. For the Bearcats, 1 out of 2, but an offensive rebound. It's a good start. Sam Houston coming off of a loss to UT Arlington on Saturday. They did not play in the midweek. There is Isiagu, no good. The rebound to Abilene Christian. Here come the Wildcats, who are also off of a bye in the midweek. This team's won 3 in a row coming in. Joe Pleasant, early basket for the Wildcats.
And how about our impact player right there, Damian Daniels, facilitating that play. We mentioned in the open how good the ball movement is for this ACU squad. Damian Daniels being one of those assist leaders. There it is right there.
Incredibly efficient offensive Sam Houston coming into this matchup. I'm excited about this end of the floor. It's a good Sam Houston offense. They shoot at about 47% from the field for the season.
And that's why it's going to be so important for the Wildcats to limit those offensive rebounds, limit those second chance points. Like you mentioned, they're crazy efficient. You give them a chance to put up a few shots, they're definitely going to make most of them. So if you get those defensive rebounds, steal possessions away, it's only going to help you in the long run.
At this end, you have the third best scoring offense in the WAC. It's a foul on the floor. Cameron and May were going at it. May's been on the deck a couple of times early. You've got the third best scoring offense in the WAC in ACU and the 8th best scoring defense in the country in Sam Houston.
Yeah, and like we mentioned before, in the open, these are two teams that are going to look very different statistically. On paper, the betting line may be a little skyward one direction, but when these two teams meet up on this court, especially here in Abilene, we know how electric it can get, whether it be at Teague or Moody.
Right, it was the Teague Center last year, as Connor was telling us, the buzzer beater for the Bearcats. Damian Daniels is hot right now in his 5th year with ACU.
When you're looking at his stats from last season and early on this season, this guy is not a shooter. He doesn't put up a high volume of shots, but over this 3-game win streak that we talk about the Wildcats have gone on, that's exactly what he's done. He's putting up shots and he's making them.
ACU gets a stop defensively. This has also been notoriously one of the great defenses in the country at turning you over. And a wide open Diva. What a pass from Simmons.
And this is the premier ACU Wildcat offense. We talked about ball movement, how much Damian Daniels meant to that, getting those assists. But everyone can do it. Everyone can pass it around. Diva was the beneficiary there, wide open in the paint, making it look easy. Abilene Christian 7-3 lead.
Backing into the paint, Hoofner, he's fouled. And a free throw coming in this 7-3 start. As we go back to that Simmons basket.
And that's all ball movement right there. Diva, it's surprising the amount of times that you can pass a guy open. In football, they talk about how a quarterback can look a guy open by where he's looking with his eyes, moving safeties, moving corners. Same thing in basketball. You can pass a guy open. Where the ball's going, the defense is going to respond. If you respond accordingly, you can get some points.
Jason Hooten, been around a long time. Since 2005, he's been at Sam Houston. He's in his 13th year as the head coach. And they're upcoming on another 20-win campaign. 17 victories already in Huntsville this season. Hoofner makes it a 2-point difference as we are just getting started.
We talked about how Sam higher on the bracket than ACU, but this is going to be a huge, monumental game, almost real close to a regular season playoff game with the implications on the line here tonight.
Well, they're going to meet in the regular season finale in Huntsville as well at the beginning of March. Should be a lot of fun. Ali Diva spinning and scoring. 4 in a row for number 20.
And sometimes you don't need passing to get you open. Sometimes your moves can do it for you. Diva demonstrates it right there. Nice little fadeaway jumper. Makes it land like butter, puts 2 on the board.
The Chicago State transfer in his first year with the Wildcats. 25, Emmanuel Allen into the game for ACU. First time back in a couple of weeks. Missed 4 games straight with a leg injury. 7 on the timer for Powers from an extra step away, no good.
Rare miss right there from Sam Houston. Good job by ACU getting the rebound, not allowing those second chance points.
Pleasant's been on a tear rebounding as well. Another one to get that started. 3.5 into the contest. Now Pleasant on the offensive end, going up against Isiagu. Now it's Allen. Welcome back.
Emmanuel Allen, not in the starting lineup tonight, coming off an injury, kind of nursing himself back to health, but he's going to play a big part in this game. ACU's leading scorer. He's going to be coming off the bench here tonight, but he's going to make his presence known. He did right there.
70th career game, another one of the veterans for Abilene Christian. Quay Grant scored the opening basket. Now Isiagu a chance, the junior out of Canada. Loose ball, deflected. Daniels and Grant going after it, and Allen goes to get it, and he's fouled. Wait a second, no, he's not fouled. They're calling a shot clock violation, and that takes us to a timeout. Abilene Christian in front by 7 early. Time now for our keys to the game, brought to you by your Greater Texas Ford dealers.
You're looking at Sam Houston. Disrupt ACU. You need to get in those passing lanes. We talked about how much ball movement means to that Wildcat squad. You need to stop it. Stay hot shooting. That's what they've done good all season. That's how they win. They need to keep doing that here tonight. ACU, they need to make open threes, and they need to make them often. And we've mentioned this before, no second chance points. Get on top of those defensive rebounds. We think that Joe Pleasant's going to play a huge role in that because he has so far in this season.
Meanwhile, the stay hot shooting part is for ACU so far.
Yeah.
5 for 5 to start the game.
5 for 5, and importantly, they've made every 3-point they've made. I mean, if you're a Wildcat squad, they've already got a great defense. If you're doing that on offense, that means trouble for the Bearcats.
Here's Ali Diba, and ACU very efficient. Pleasant, that elbow jumper. What a start for ACU.
Every ball that has left Wildcat hands so far in this contest has found its way into the hoop.
7-0 run for Abilene Christian. No field goals in over 4 minutes for Sam Houston early in this one. Into the game, Damon Nicholas Jr., number 10 in orange. Sophomore out of Duncanville. There's a three, and that's Dante Powers, the senior out of Mississippi. A much-needed basket.
For sure, and don't let the scoring drought fool you. This is a very efficient Sam Houston team. They shoot the three, and they shoot it better than ACU. That's their bread and butter.
Diba open. They're not missing.
There's got to be a magnet or something in the back of that hoop up there. Somebody needs to check it.
Wow.
Everything's going in.
Smooth jumper for Diba, who's already got 7. Corner kick. Lamar Wilkinson, no good.
And a few of these wide open looks too. You see these, obviously the last possession Sam Houston capitalized on it, but right there, that's about as wide open as you're gonna get against the Wildcats.
Backdoor to Cameron. Allen's open in the corner, and that's the first miss of the game for ACU, and Sam Houston turns it over. Wow.
Yeah, you look at it right there, obviously that's the one time that a shot has gone up in the air and has gone the Bearcats' way, but fumble the rebound, gonna roll out of bounds. ACU is gonna afford themselves a second chance here on offense.
Number 2, Jay-Sean Jackson back in for Abilene Christian, and Quay Grant returning to the Bearcat lineup.
Looking for some of his scoring, get that Sam Houston offense going.
That's a loose ball, and Grant's got the takeaway, and he'll lay it in. Defense to offense, the staple of the Bearcats.
He's our impact player, and there he is making an impact. Like you said, defense to offense, leading scorer for that Bearcat squad. Demonstrates it right there.
13.5 points per game. This is a foul on a drive. It's going to be against Sam Houston. It's on Lamar Wilkerson.
And really, so far in this contest, you can say that the Sam Houston offense needs to pick up the pace, but they really haven't done awful. They've missed a few wide open shots that obviously they like to have back, but it's just really in comparison to this ACU offense that has come out the gate hot that they've looked slow in comparison.
Cameron off the inbound. Look at that drive and finish with the right hand.
And what about the little touch, the love tap there at the end, just barely getting it, rolling it into the hoop. So far, ACU on fire.
For the 6th year player for ACU. That one no good, tapped around. Wilkerson with a miss. Here goes Diba, that one no good. ACU's just 2nd miss. They're 8 for their first 10 from the floor.
ACU's flying around on offense and flying around on defense. Gonna look how much fatigue is gonna build up. How long can they keep this up?
2-man game. Grant gets it into Scroggins. Then the entry to Ipe. He'll lay it in. Cash it home with a chance for 3.
Take a look at the replay here. It's gonna be Emmanuel Allen jumping up to contest. Ball just goes up way too fast. He ends up catching a little bit of forearm and not enough ball. That's an easy call for the ref down low, and there's gonna be 2 throws from the charity stripe for the Bearcats.
Tristan Ipe, the senior, playing in his 85th career game. And the lefty converts the 3-point play. Just a 57% foul shooter. That gets it back to a 6-point deficit for Sam Houston.
In a game between these two teams, this game may come down to those foul shots.
Cameron way deep on that 3, out of bounds. It goes. Brett Tanner is the 2nd-year head coach, another guy who's been around a long time. 10th overall year with the Wildcats. Taking over after Joe Golding left in 2021 for UTEP. Tanner in year 2. 38 wins and 22 losses. Sam Houston swept the season series a year ago. First of 2 meetings in the final few weeks of the season this year.
ACU so far only 2 losses at Moody.
Been really good at home, 9-2. That 3 no good from Wilkerson again, but a second opportunity. They go backdoor to Grant. Terrific feed from Kean Scroggins for the lay-in.
So far, it seems like it's been all Grant for this Bearcats offense. Obviously, it hasn't, but it's been Grant who's making all the momentum plays, keeping his team in it, doing his best to make the shots he can.
Cameron, I think we're looking for Pleasant in a 2-man game, and it's a takeaway for Grant and the Bearcats. Can he attack? He can! Off window with a little English.
And what about the Euro and the shimmy there at the end, a little French at the end, and he was able to get it up and in. Some fancy hand movement, put 2 on the board, and man, this is Grant kind of taking over for this Bearcat offense.
Wichita State transfer, started at West Texas A&M. His career numbers are absolutely ridiculous. So much fun to watch number 2 this year. 8 on the timer, it's Jay-Sean Jackson. He might have been deflected on that possession.
That's a good find by Hunter Jack Madden. Jay-Sean just not able to finish.
Grant's gonna launch it. And it's out of bounds. It's currently a 7-0 run for Sam Houston to cut it back to 2. Enjoy this night. Back in Mooney Coliseum in Abilene, where the Wildcats lead the Bearcats by a couple. Let's go a little out of the box thinking. Wow, shall we? Let's send it over to Connor Mullins.
Well, guys, I love college basketball just as much as anybody, but I don't know if anyone loves it more than Craig Caswell. He has traveled around the country for the last 12 years to see every single Division I college basketball program, and it all started when he graduated from Bowling Green State in 2008. He sat courtside at that game, wanted to explore more of what the NCAA college basketball world had to offer. Junior year started that journey. He said the best atmosphere he's been to at the mid-major level is Grand Canyon, the WAC rival for both of these schools. He got into Abilene at 11 today, played some disc golf with his wife. ACU is the penultimate team for him to see. American will be next week, and he loves to sit eye level at the basket center court, and that's where he is sitting tonight. Guys, back to you.
Connor, thank you. How about that? Traveling to all of the arenas in Division I college basketball. Well, Moody finished here in November of this year, so a good chance to come to ACU's campus in 2023.
It's a nice stadium to add to the list.
Renovations took a couple of years. They're back, and these 2 teams playing in here for the first time since 2020. Emmanuel Allen, he's back after missing 4 games, and he's hit a couple of threes.
And this is going to be big for the Wildcats. What you've kind of seen, and if you're a Wildcats fan, you've been watching their games, whenever their team gets down, whenever there's a momentum swing, you see the shooting percentage drop as well. It's going to be important that even they're not doing well so much on defense that they keep shooting it.
Quay Grant keeps shooting at number 2. Wow.
And
what a newcomer to this league.
He's been all over it. He's got speed and he's got the moves, but most importantly, he's decisive. If he sees an open look, so far he's taken it, and he's taken advantage.
Number 12, Hunter Jack Madden into the game for Abilene Christian. Powers defends. Deba on the attack. He's been busy so far with 7 early points. Daniel spinning. Got that up there somehow. No good in the rebound to Scroggins.
Sam Houston doing a great job of clogging the paint, forcing ACU to rely on the 3-point shot. So far, it's kept him in this game.
Powers hit a 3 earlier. Madden defends him. Taps back into the arms of Grant. On Daniels. Can't finish it. Can ACU run? This is like 1-on-3 for Daniels. It's a charge. Offensive foul taken by Powers.
This has been a fast game. We've seen both teams running up and down the court, and I think it's going to come down to which team's more conditioned. We mentioned fatigue earlier, the kind of defense that ACU kind of likes to play, the kind of offense that Sam Houston likes to run. Kind of contradict each other in the terms of energy expenditure department. It's going to be interesting to see which team's more conditioned.
Bearcats weathered the storm early. ACU got off to such a dynamic start and led by as many as 9. But now on the attack go the Bearcats, and another foul. Free throws coming up for Grant as we go back to the foul.
That's 2 calls in a row. That's not going to go Wildcats' way, and sometimes that's exactly what you want to do if you're the Bearcats. Slow things down. Also have an opportunity to get these free throw shots. In a very close rivalry game like this, it may come down to the charity stripe who decides who wins and who loses. So far, Sam Houston's dominated. They're about to take shot number 6 and 7 here, and they've made most of them.
Dante Powers. He's been on the floor a lot lately for Sam Houston as well. Over 30 minutes in 5 straight games. He hasn't been shooting it well from the field in that last stretch. 4 for 14 in the last 2. But a veteran that has been around a ton. 3 points tonight, make it 4 as he connects on the second free throw. Sam Houston as a team this year just 67% at the line.
May come down to that number. That may end up being very important in this contest.
Tobias Cameron no good on that corner 3. Rebound to Isiagu.
Wildcats get back on defense here. So far, they've done a really good job of limiting the Bearcats' 3-point shot. They're only 1 for 6, shooting 16%, and there's an almost steal. Hunter Jack Madden right in front of the broadcaster table.
He's coming right into our grill and nearly had a transition chance.
Wanted to give you a souvenir.
That's what I love about this game is both of these teams rely so heavily on what they do at the defensive end.
And that's what it's going to come down to. I think you can talk about exploiting weaknesses all the time, but it may just come down to whose strengths are stronger. ACU's got the defense, Sam Houston's got the scoring offense, and so far it's kind of shaped up that way.
That's a loose ball, trying to get it to Hoofner, and he's able to get it back. No, couple of tap backs that don't fall for Sam Houston as well.
Good look right there by Tobias Cameron. We talked about getting those rebounds. He got it.
Hunter Jack Madden knifing through and finishing.
Defense to offense in its finest form right there. Again, so many people write off defensive rebounds as almost a given for the defense, but that is not the case, especially when you're playing a team like Sam Houston, who is so efficient. If they get that offensive rebound, they get a second chance, they're most likely going to make that shot.
Hoofner fakes. They got 12 to shoot it, plenty of time. Powers. Back iron. Pleasant pulls down. Rebound number 2.
Mention his name. He's doing a good job so far, keeping those rebounds in check.
Entry pass and a foul. Timeout on the floor. Back and forth we go in the middle of the first half. ACU up 4.
Get ready for an entire week in WAC Vegas. More teams, more games. The 2023 Hercules Tires WAC Basketball Tournament. March 6th through the 11th at the Michelob Ultra Arena and the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. For ticket information, go to wacsports.com.
The world needs more light bringers and courageous leaders who inspire us, game changers and risk takers who never play small, creative thinkers and God seekers who uplift us. You see, the future is ours to create. We hold it in our hearts. We mold it with our hands. We light the fire within.
Abilene Christian with this 4-point lead. despite Sam Houston not having really any field goals in the last 3 minutes or so. This is turning into the game we thought it would be early. ACU, the lightning start shooting. It's faded off just a little bit, and we're starting to settle into a groove here.
Yeah, obviously batting 1,000 isn't sustainable over a one-game sample size, so they've kind of laid back a little. But yeah, this is looking more like a track and field show. They've just been running back and forth, and it's been very electric on the court. And that's really what we were expecting to see with this intense rivalry game. It's going to be the best of both worlds in terms of these teams and what they're going to have to do to win.
Abilene Christian 4 for their first 7 from the three-point line. Meanwhile, Sam Houston just 1 for 7 to get it started. And Hunter Jack Madden adds another one to that total. ACU's 5th triple of the first half.
Hunter Jack Madden, that's exactly what you're asking of him when you take him off the bench. He goes in and he can give you those big-time shots like he just did in the corner right there. Oh, and a little miscommunication looked like by Sam Houston.
And here comes Tobias Cameron, and it's a well-defended play. Beautifully done by Sam Houston in transition defensively. This is incredible.
Let's take a look at this replay. Again, looked like it was a fumble on the handoff right there. Tobias Cameron looking to lay down the gavel, and he just can't make contact. Great defense, as you mentioned, by Sam Houston, going up, contesting that shot.
Isiagu incredibly defensed there. Without fouling as well. Hard to do. And now the Bearcats back with it, down 7.
ACU still relentless on this man defensive scheme.
Backdoor, wonderful pass and the finish for Javion May.
And that's how you beat it. A lot of movement right there. Get as many moving pieces going as possible. If you're the Bearcats, you're looking at that Wildcat defense, you just got to find gaps, and they did right there, took advantage. There's Jack Madden. Oh, looks like he's going to get called for a travel.
There's been a few turnovers on each side to get things started. And then the great defensive play by Sam Houston, and now they have a chance here down 5 as we just trade punches here in this first half. Powers will take it from out there. Oh, the nice step back move. Couldn't convert it. Nice, powerful rebound. Hoofner, he's fouled on the putback. Free throw's coming.
There's the offensive rebounds we were talking about. Powers trying a little ISO setup, couldn't get it shot to go, but his teammates had him. Able to get that offensive rebound. Again, we were talking about how if the Bearcats are going to steal another possession, they are going to get points. This is much too inefficient of a team to get an offensive rebound and not to do anything with it.
Cameron Hoofner, the sophomore out of Australia, transfer from D2 Pittsburgh State in Kansas. Pittsburgh without the H at the end, by the way. Good State Gorillas. Daniels takes a seat. ACU returns a couple of starters with Simmons and Pleasant. Jay-Sean Jackson out there as well.
It's going to be an interesting matchup to watch. Hoofner right there against Joe Pleasant. Who's going to win the rebound game?
Hoofner in his first season with Sam Houston. Loose ball, who's it off of? It's off of Pleasant, out of bounds. Turnover number 6 for Abilene Christian in this first half.
You can look at that and you can say, well, maybe the pass was too low. You can look at that and say, well, maybe Joe Pleasant should have handled it. Either way, it's a possession that doesn't go the Wildcats' way. Starting to throw a wrench in what has been up until this point a very flawless offensive performance.
Both teams force 18 turnovers a game. See if how that total inches closer to that as we go throughout the night. It's a foul at this end for ACU on Leonardo Battiol, a young freshman out of Italy, redshirt freshman who had a breakout game a week and a half or so ago at Utah Tech.
Who else to draw that foul but Quay Grant? Again, we've mentioned his name from the open till now. He's our impact player, and he's certainly making an impact here tonight on the free throw line, and he has been leading this Bearcats team scoring and in energy.
Grant also leads the WAC in steals this year. Number 2 in the WAC in assist to turnover ratio. How about this though, 16 double-digit games. However, in his last 3 games, he's been a little up and down shooting. 1 for 8 against Seattle, but then goes 6 for 12 at UTRGV, but is coming off of a 1 of 11 performance last week.
1 of 11 performance, and that was a pretty brutal loss against UT Arlington. They really got it handed to them. 18-point loss, and this was a team that ACU had beaten handedly in the past. So it almost looks like it's just Bearcat squoze as Quay Grant goes.
Simmons, he is wide open in the corner.
Again, back to our keys of the game right there. Making open shots. They've done a good job of that so far. Need to stay on that trend, not bucket.
6-0 run here in about 75 seconds for Sam Houston to cut it to 1. Chance to go in front. Their last lead was when it was 3-2. Ball's loose, Powers gives it away.
And you can thank Arion Simmons. He's not going to get credit for that steal, but he swatted that thing down, prevented the shot, and gave ACU the ball.
Simmons scoreless. That 3 in the corner was his first shot attempt of the night. He's in the opposite corner, and he's 0 for 2.
Tried his luck from the other corner, still couldn't get it. A bit better coverage that time by the Bearcats on him. But there's that defense.
Surprised at just 2 shot attempts for Simmons so far, as we've played 15 of the first 20 minutes.
They've done a really good job of spreading the wealth. They really haven't, as opposed to the Bearcats, had to rely on one shooter.
On the drive, a little bit of hesitation, but Hufner finishes. Off the window, Sam Houston has their first lead since they were up 3-2.
Hufner takes advantage of his length advantage down there in the paint. A little bit of height goes a long way.
Jackson feeds that one, and Pleasant maneuvers his way through traffic, and it'll be free throws.
Joe Pleasant has a lot of these real quiet games. He goes out there, he gets in the starting lineup, and he really shows out on defense, he shows out on offense, and he collects really high rebound totals and doesn't always show up in the scoring column, but he is an integral part of that offense when it comes from passing the ball, when it comes to facilitating a lot of these offensive possessions with his rebound, and he's going to get a lot of minutes here tonight.
The Sam Houston bench was wanting a travel on Pleasant on that play. Instead, him keeping his footing, and then the foul committed.
For the Bearcats, number 40,
and so Pleasant's at the line for a second free throw here. This is the first foul shots of the game for Abilene Christian.
And we mentioned how big of a story that may be, especially if this game's going to end up coming down to the wire, which by all indications look like it very may well. That's going to be big. Those charity stripes points, getting to the line and making those shots.
ACU off of a tough road trip. That's not easy to go to Seattle and CBU and get 2 wins. They did so, and to your point, they went 22 of 25 at the foul line in the win over California Baptist. Those free throws determine outcomes of games sometimes. Into the paint, Scroggins. And a pass a little wide, looking for Wilkerson.
That looks like it's going to be on Scroggins right there. Pass down and away, almost at his feet. Harmlessly rolls out bounds if you're the Wildcats. But yeah, as you were mentioning, this is a Wildcat squad that hears the whistle a lot. They get a lot of fouls, and they foul a lot. By virtue of how violently and aggressive they play defense, of course, but that's going to be a big part.
Hunter Jack Madden, no good. So we're under 4 to go in this opening half here in Moody Coliseum. A terrific night in the WAC. You got Utah Valley and Southern Utah going at it tonight as well. Terrific matchups around the conference. This is one of them. Abilene Christian with a 1-point lead, 3.5 to go in the first.
3 wings from Wingstop.
Abilene Christian in front by 1 over Sam Houston. 3.5 to go in this first half. And hey, Tuesdays on ESPN Plus, get in-depth coverage of all things Abilene Christian men's basketball. It's the Brett Tanner Show presented by ACUTV every Tuesday at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central on ESPN Plus and the ESPN app.
How about this defensive look right here from the Bearcats, almost getting out into full court press, opening, coming out of that timeout.
Ball's loose. ACU has it. And they've got about 12 to shoot it with Jackson. Lob back into Pleasant. Oh, and he's denied. He's in a lot of traffic. How does he still have the ball? through 3 Bearcats. Still the possession for ACU somehow, and they had about 5 trips and could not score it, and that was chaotic. Wow.
Almost to highlight my point about how Joe Pleasant is going to play a big role in the rebound game.
Crazy.
Pads his stats a little bit right there. Maybe he was looking for a bit of those rebounds, and he got a few of them, but wasn't able to get the shot.
Wow. So it turns in, I believe, to a foul on Sam Houston after the rebound for Pleasant. Officials are talking to the table.
And that was a good job, too, by Debo. He was there, able to keep that possession alive, put a shot up. Obviously, he didn't get a chance to make it, but interesting to see what these officials are going to rule here on the court.
The foul's called on the Bearcats. On number 40, he is
Substitution, Dante
Powers.
Powers.
Of the game, team foul number 5. That foul's on the floor.
It's going to be the 5th foul for the Bearcats. In bonus now.
Simmons is just going to shoot that one, and it's going to skim off no good. And so after about 6 shot attempts there in one possession, Sam Houston comes away with a stop.
And every time ACU was flirting with it, Arion Simmons, that was a good-looking shot, but bounced in and out.
Wilkerson drives, wonderful kick, and converting is Grant for the triple and the lead.
And how about doing that with Arion Simmons coming at you at about 15 miles an hour? Good shot there by Quay Grant.
Hunter Jack Madden, quick release, catch and shoot.
ACU got down, it was 29-31, but Jack Madden puts his team back on top with a huge shot from the corner where Arion Simmons has been unable to find that shot. Jack Madden strikes gold.
That snaps a streak of 9 straight misses from the field for ACU. Corner Wilkerson alone rattles one in for the lead again as we trade punches.
Yeah, like you mentioned, ACU just won for their last 10, but Bearcats, no such drought. They are hitting what they are shooting.
Under 2 until halftime. Pleasant wants in on this fun. No good. Hoofner with a board.
Again, a lot of these wide open shots are shots that the Wildcats are going to wish they had back, especially as this game probably will come down to the wire. Going to look at this in film tomorrow and really judge yourself for how wide open you were taking these shots.
Loose ball. Hunter Jack Madden up ahead. There's Jackson, the reverse, no. Could not finish it, and Scroggins with a big-time rebound for Sam Houston.
Both defenses getting to flex a little, flaunt a little bit of their muscle, showing what they have.
Timeout, Sam Houston, they use it or lose it with 1:13.
Take a look at the replay here. It's going to be the wide open shot. This is what the Bearcats have been their bread and butter all season, but tonight they were held relatively in check coming into that shot. 1 for 8, 1 for 7, only 16%, but they're finally starting to pick it up from downtown, which is huge because that is so much of their offense. When that isn't clicking, their whole offensive scheme is not clicking. The Wildcats were doing a good job beforehand of limiting that.
Coming up is the ESPN halftime report with Joseph Chapa and Connor Mullins upstairs in the arena tonight. A look at the first half stats, and we break down the first half with highlights and analysis. It's all coming up on the ESPN halftime report. Yeah, I can't wait for Joseph and Connor to chat with us upstairs as they get prepped.
That's so
for
neat, isn't it?
halftime. Yep.
All we need is Shaq and Charles Barkley, and it'll be just like TNT.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly right. The best show on television. Connor and Joseph, they're ready for us in just a little bit. We'll see how this first half ends. Right now, Sam Houston up 2.
You always got to keep your eye on Quay Grant. Sometimes you lose him down low. That's how he gets his points.
Hoofner with 4 on the timer, and he draws a foul with 3 on the shot clock on Hunter Jack Madden.
Whistle blows with 52 seconds left in the half.
Not much was happening here, but then.
Yeah, not much at all, but it's going to give a chance for both of these teams to slow it down, collect themselves. This is still a 2-point game. But on your ACU's half of the ball, they're 1 for their last 12. Their percentages are still really good, especially shooting 50% from three-point land. That's because they came off on such a hot start. So far, it's been more downs than ups.
Hoofner at the line, 77% on the season. Third school for Hoofner, started at St. Peter's College, then as we mentioned, Pitt State, the D2 in Kansas. Yeah, he was off the bench the first 8 of the season, but they put him in the lineup. That's been one of the changes for Jason Newton. Spectacular reward, 10 points a game for the year for the sophomore.
Cameron Steele now on the court, getting into their shooting package with 50 seconds ticking off the clock here in the first half. Looking to put some points on the board. There's Jack Madden.
Open again, it's that quick release. We have a foul before the ball went out of bounds.
Looks like it's gonna be on the Bearcats.
I think so, it's on Ipe.
That's big right there, saving possessions. We mentioned how crucial that is for the Bearcats, but for the Wildcats as well, they don't have the shooting percentage numbers that the Bearcats have on the season, so you can arguably make the debate that getting these second chance points means a lot more to ACU.
Pleasant turning in the paint, little baby hook, powers rebounds.
Joe Pleasant.
Sam Houston up 4 and no shot clock.
Joe Pleasant doing a good job of establishing himself in the paint, just needs to finish. He's putting up a lot of shots, getting a lot of rebounds, which is more or less been his job. Just hasn't been able to find that touch.
Abilene Christian 1 for their last 14 from the field. No points in the last 2.5 minutes of the half. And a foul here with under 5 seconds with Iziaku into the paint. He's going to shoot free throws.
Yeah, take a look at the replay here. As soon as you saw Iziaku go up and you saw a lot of commotion up in the air, you knew something was going to get blown, something was going to get called, and that's going to go Bearcats' way again. And we keep talking about the free throws. Every single time we mention the free throws, they're playing a bigger role in this game. You just take a look at the two teams. ACU's been there twice, and they've made it twice. Sam Houston, these are shots number 14 and 15.
How about that? And I really love what Grant did there. You just assume number 2's taking that shot, and then he decides to drive and feed it. And Iziaku is going to go 1 for 2. The lead is 5. One more shot. Hunter Jack Madden, 2 seconds, 1 second. Steele's going to get it off. It's no good. And that takes us into halftime. Abilene Christian 5 and 8 when they trail at the break. Sam Houston in front of Abilene Christian, 37-32 at the half. And on this Saturday, we come to you with a heavy heart. The university's first director of alumni relations and multiple vice president roles, Dr. Bob Hunter, passed away today, a 1952 alumni of Abilene Christian, served in multiple roles until his retirement in 1993. The Hunter Welcome Center on campus and the Bob Hunter Sing-Song Stage are named in his honor as well. So today we remember Dr. Bob Hunter, a legacy that will live forever. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of Bob Hunter. He was 98 years old.
and welcome back to Moody Coliseum, the third floor of the newly renovated Coliseum. Sam Houston up 37-32 at halftime. Connor Mullins alongside Joseph Chapa. What did you see in that first half? Quake Grant going off for Sam Houston right now. ACU had a hot start. They're down at halftime.
Well, I think we're seeing already that ACU cannot win this game in a shootout. Sam Houston, the number 8 scoring defense in the country. Look, they're kind of taking a page out of ACU's playbook, turning defense into offense. ACU's got to slow the game down. They're getting some great shots on the perimeter. Let's see what they can continue to do against a hot Sam Houston team.
Yeah, ACU started 7 for 7 from the floor, and then they just kind of got thwarted by that Sam Houston defense. As we take a look around the WAC, Utah Valley number 1 right now after losing Fardal's IMAC to Texas Tech last season. What did you see from Utah Valley this season, and how have they been to this point?
Yeah, man. I mean, the big question was, look, Fardaws Amok, he leaves. Coach Mark Madsen knows what he brings to the table. Hey, he's a former Los Angeles Laker. He knows a thing or two about winning. Aziz Bondigo averaging a double-double, 3 blocks in the conference. Utah Valley, a well-oiled machine, both offensively and defensively. I think what I love and what I'm watching most, Connor, is that they lead the conference in rebounding. That's a championship team right there.
They've been phenomenal this season. New Mexico State, another big storyline around the WAC yesterday, suspended indefinitely. The WAC saying that they're going to follow the situation and see how this plays out. It's really unfortunate for New Mexico State, but what does this mean for ACU and Sam Houston?
Yeah, Connor, and again, this situation is completely separate from what happened last November in Albuquerque. And I think for ACU and other schools in the WAC, we're still waiting for those details to pan out. But I know that as a coach and as someone who's worked in basketball before, is you just got to be ready for whatever. Look, I know the schedule says ACU, New Mexico twice. You just got to be ready for whatever. Get your team in the right mindset and say, hey, look, we can't worry about this external stuff. We got to worry about what's happening on the hardwood. I think Coach Brett Tanner is going to handle that the right way.
Absolutely, and UTA, the other news breaking yesterday, they fired their head coach Greg Young. Just unfortunate for them as well.
Yeah, and again, Coach Greg Young, he's a basketball savant. In 14 seasons at UTA, served as an interim head coach, associate coach, assistant coach, and of course, 2 years as a head coach. The lives that he touched, the student athletes in the Mavericks program was huge. Now they got Royce Snoop Johnson, who, again, he coached Chris Bosh back in the day, so he knows a lot about the game of basketball. I think for UTA, the question is, look, the WAC Vegas tournament is less than a month away. What's your team going to look like then if you get that bid? We'll just have to wait and find out. It's a wacky Western Athletic Conference, my man.
A lot of storylines in the past 24 hours around the WAC as Sam Houston leads 37-32 here in Abilene. Connor Mullins, Joseph Chapa, this has been your ESPN Halftime Report.
Second half coming up in a second as Sam Houston has the 5-point lead over Abilene Christian. As we say, welcome courtside, Zach and Cohen, as we get ready to start the second half. I'm curious to see how this thing continues because Sam Houston's defense really locked ACU down the last couple of minutes of the first half.
Like we mentioned, they were really clogging the paint. They were doing a very good job of limiting ACU shooting down low, especially when it came to those shots. Damian Daniels lives there, and they've been able to kind of keep him quiet, but ACU has responded. Downtown, they're on fire. They started off on fire, cooled down a little bit, looking to pick up the heat again as the second half starts.
And you can tell this is a rivalry, can't you, as we get ready for the second half here in just a moment with Abilene Christian being unable to hit a field goal there for the last couple of minutes. So that Sam Houston defense showing us everything they know and do well there late in the first half. And you know what? Sam Houston weathered a little bit of a storm. This thing was 19-10 and 14-5, and Abilene Christian was making everything early. But Sam Houston has taken over, and they got this 5-point lead.
And that says a lot about the leadership of the team, both on the coaching staff and the player staff, able to overcome that adversity, get down from being so low.
Cameron Hoofner off the fake. No, tapped around a couple of times, and Abilene Christian comes away with it. Which defense will prevail here in the second half?
That's the question, and which offense is going to have to rely on their strengths more? Which has the better backbone?
Ali Deba had 7 points early in the game, still with 7 for the evening. 5 on the timer. It's Pleasant. A little bit of space. Got to go. It is going to be Daniels, and he's short. They're at the shot clock buzzer. Now Deba off the putback chance. Off the feed from Pleasant, no good.
Big no call right there. ACU definitely wanted it.
May got it back. Nice feed and the finish with Isiagu.
Now, those two offensive possessions were very similar. You saw the Wildcats get the ball around a bunch. You saw the Bearcats get the ball around a bunch. Bearcats finished.
That 3 no good for Simmons. So Arion Simmons scoreless, 0 for 3 from the field. Damian Daniels just 1 for 3. Those two have been big in the scoring here lately for ACU.
For sure, and a lot of what you're seeing for this ACU offense, they're doing a good job of getting the looks that they want. At the point that they're taking the shot, they've won the play, but they're just not finishing.
Lob picked off. Try to get it to Isiagu. Simmons takes it away. And now Daniels, who's just been so busy these last few games, floats one up, no good. The shot totals the last 3 games, 35 attempts from the floor, which has just not typically been his strength over the course of his career, but 4 double digits in the last 5 games.
And you could see on that possession right there, the Bearcats defense, they did a good job. As soon as they saw Daniels even think about driving down low, it was a 3-on-1, contesting the shot. They're doing a good job of forcing him downtown.
Off the spin, Grant goes 360 and then connects.
The spin move, the fade away, not much to improve there form-wise on Quake Grant, putting on a clinic so far here in this one. 9-point lead is the biggest, I believe, for the Bearcats tonight. 41-32. Daniels looking to stop the hemorrhaging here.
Daniels gonna fire again.
Daniels for 3.
Again, we kind of seen it, and you've hinted to it. We've talked about it. This is a kind of a new Damian Daniels we've seen from year past, from even the first half of this season. He's a shooter now. The Bearcats are going to have to account for that.
Almost 50% from the three-point line this season. Grant, somehow that did not go, and Grant is still down for Sam Houston. Let's go back to the Daniels 3.
Take a look at Damian Daniels. That's top of the key. And that's almost as wide open as you can get. That's exactly what you're looking for if you're the Wildcats. Again, it's those open shots that are going to come back to bite you when you're watching film the next day. You're going to look at them, and especially if you go on to lose this game, it's going to be what kills you.
I actually think Grant might have lost his contact.
Oh,
So,
is that right?
I think he's gonna, there you go.
Yeah, have like a Velma situation.
That's what he wants to do on television, is stick his finger in his eye, you know. As someone who's familiar with putting contacts in, I've been doing it for 20 years now. So.
Gnarly stuff, huh? Especially on the Moody. We were talking about how lovely this facility is and how new it is, but man, that court's got to be nasty.
Look at that. Yeah, so he tumbled, and I wasn't sure if he was hurt, but it's the contact popped out.
Yeah,
you need a little liquid.
He's mad about it too. I would be.
Yeah, hard to put a dry contact back in, and so that's actually, because that took time, it forces Sam Houston to make a sub. Lamar Wilkerson back in for the first time in the second half, the sophomore out of Arkansas. Gonna fake it. 3 minutes into the second half, it's a 4-3 start for Sam Houston. Wilkerson, 1 for 4 in that first half. That one no good, 1 for 5 for the game.
Trying to bank it off the glass layer, a little bit too strong. It's going to afford ACU a chance.
Allen's wide open, no good.
Again, those are the shots. That was the key to the game. What you lacked when you're comparing these two offenses is ACU had a worse three-point shooting percentage, and that's what they hang their hat on. You're going to have to make those open shots.
Abilene Christian 7 for 16 for the night from distance. Powers, plenty of time. And open is Hoofner for 3.
Hoofner starting to step up in Grant's absence. We saw him in the first half. He was working down low, drawing fouls, getting good looks. That time sets up shot from downtown, and he does not miss.
The big fella, and now a 9-point lead for the Bearcats. And here is Cameron pushing through. And free throws are coming up. A wild First 4 minutes of the second half. Sam Houston up 9. The 2023 Hercules Tires WAC Basketball Tournament takes place March 6th through the 11th at the Michelob Ultra Arena and the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. For more information on the road to WAC Vegas, visit WACsports.com. Free throws for Abilene Christian. It is Tobias Cameron at the line as Jason Hooten looks on. Veteran head coach for Sam Houston. Final year in the WAC for the Bearcats. Off they go to Conference USA next season with New Mexico State.
And you talk about tournament play, and for a regular season game, this is as consequential as it gets. When it comes down to the seeding and when it comes down to the standings, it's going to be a big one.
Final few weeks of this regular season as we hit the middle of February. Powers gonna drive it, kick it. Ipe hesitated initially, and then he's deep on the three. Then the foul committed by Ipe.
A good sequence of events right there for this ACU defense. Turn into offense. This is an ACU defense that in the second half of their last game against Seattle U, mind you, this is the number 3 currently WAC standings, number 3 team in the WAC, held them to 16 points in the entire second half.
Into Pleasant, spinning. And he will go to the line.
So I think it's safe to say they're looking for a little bit more of that magic here, especially as Sam Houston recently is coming out of the second half and ending the first half, started going on an offensive run, but right now, Quay Grant not on the floor. They have a good chance, opportunity to get a foothold.
When you talk about Joe Pleasant, he's at the line. You were talking about that Seattle U game. He's coming off of matching a career high to open February at Seattle U with a big win, 24 points in that one. He's got 7 points tonight, the senior out of Overland Park, Kansas. He was at Wichita State last year, and he was there with Quay Grant with the Shockers, and then Pleasant comes back to Abilene after spending his first 3 seasons with the Wildcats. Allen with the steal. Look out, lays it up and in.
And we saw the good contesting defense earlier in this game. That transition defense of the Bearcats wasn't able to come up with a block there. Good steal, good put up by Emmanuel Allen.
Grant directing traffic. A long way to go in this second half. Powers, step back, creation. Big time jumper on the baseline.
Powers is shifty. You saw it right there. Step back, long two, able to get it go.
Charge. For the second time, Damian Daniels has been called for an offensive foul, and he'll pick up his 3rd personal of the game.
And that's big right there. Obviously, you mentioned 3rd personal. He's in foul trouble now. This is an impact player. He facilitates a lot of that Wildcats offense. Big collision there. Really could have gone either way, but does not go Damian Daniels' way. He's going to have to take a minute, sit down on the bench, see how the Wildcats respond without him.
Big minutes for Jay-Sean Jackson, number 2 in gray for ACU. In this 5-point difference, Sam Houston shooting almost 50% from the floor for the game. Wilkerson on the move. Does that count?
Looks like they're talking it over right now.
Shot count is, can't tell if this is on the floor.
And they
yes,
say it does.
They will count the basket. It's an and one.
Uh-oh. Got Brett Tanner yelling up a storm.
They are calling it a foul in the process of shooting. The basket fell, and Wilkerson now will have a chance for a 3-point play.
And it's plays like this that are going to be what makes this game come down to the wire. These close plays, close calls. Obviously, it's going to be very hotly debated if this game goes one way or the other. But again, this free throw discrepancy in this game has been one of the more astonishing stats. That's the 16th shot for Sam Houston. They made 13 of them.
And an 8-point lead as it's tapped out of bounds.
Quay Grant, we've seen what he can do on the offense, but defensively, what about a ball hawk right there. He's able to get the deflection. He's had a few steals. One of the leaders in the WAC in the steals department.
Ten to shoot it. Jackson ball fakes. Allen tries to throw it off of Grant and does. There's 3 to shoot it for Abilene Christian.
That's a heads-up play right there by Emmanuel Allen, able to get the ball back out of bounds. But ideally, you don't want to get in that situation. This is what Sam Houston's done a very good job of. They've been decisive. If they have a look, they take it.
Allen's going to launch that one at the shot clock buzzer.
That's what he was looking to do in the corner on the previous possession when the shot clock got down to 3 seconds. He instead elected to drive, got in a bind, got double teamed, made a smart move, gave himself a chance to fight another day, and that's exactly what he does. Drains the 3 and makes this a 5-point game.
Sam Houston looking to execute in the half court. Here's Damon Nicholas Jr. And now Wilkerson, 5 to shoot it using the clock. Here he goes down. That is a shot clock violation. And you get it to Isiaku. Time ran out.
You can thank the ACU defense right there and Tobias Cameron. That play is very close to being a foul, but he's able to force just that very slight hesitation by Isiaku, get the shot clock violation, get him the ball back.
Allen hit the 3 a moment ago. Now draws a foul on Wilkerson.
Starting to go back and forth here. We mentioned this in the first half, but this is going to be even more important here in the second half. Will the fatigue catch up to these teams? This is obviously going to be one of the most physical games that they play offensively and defensively. They're going to be running up and down the court. Who's better conditioned?
Cameron off the inbound. Wilkerson with a board. Sam Houston, before that loss Saturday at UT Arlington, just a game they just didn't play well. That's really what it came down to. An off night, you're going to have those, especially in this deep WAC. That ended what was a 5-game winning streak. This team's been playing ridiculously well all year. That was an awkward catch and score for Isiaku, but they opened the year with a bang, a win in Norman at Oklahoma by a point. That set the stage for what's been a 17-6 campaign for these Bearcats. Cameron, goodness, flashes one home.
And that's Arion Simmons right there. If you take a look, you go back, he was setting up on the wing. He was able to draw the double team, take some pressure off of his teammates, move the ball around, look for the open shot. Cameron got it.
Tough shot for Grant that time. Pleasant clears the former teammates from a season ago. Now Pleasant on the move. He is going to draw a foul. No, it's on the floor.
And that is not going to make Brett Tanner happy. He's arguing that a few of these calls haven't gone his way.
They were mad that the one was called a shooting foul a few moments ago at the other end. So he was wanting this one to be shooting foul. This one, this is definitely a foul on the floor, it looked like. And then Pleasant continued through.
Can't hurt it, working out the refs here a little bit. Either way, still ACU ball.
Foul number 5 in the half on Sam Houston. A fresh 20. And an offensive foul. It's on Jackson, and that sends us to a break. Sam Houston by 4. That's the Allen 3. We got a good one going in Abilene.
ACUTV is exceptional. I think it's what really sets it apart from other universities and other organizations just on ACU's campus.
Working at ACUTV, I have gotten so much great experience in all different aspects, whether that was just taking on leadership roles or just learning new things and really just jumping in and being hands-on with equipment.
So the first time I walked in here, I was a high school senior, but I walked in and I was blown away by the production and the level of production ACU was putting on. And so to see the amount of effort being poured into a sporting event at ACU on ESPN was huge. And so to see that as a high school senior sold it for me. I was like, yes, I'm gonna be at ACU because this is where I wanna be, this is where I can excel.
Coming to college and to know that you're making content for ESPN, that's unreal for students to come in and be able to get hands-on experience that quickly, it's a blessing.
I would have never thought that I would be doing things I'm doing now. If you said I was going to be on ESPN Plus and working with professional reporters and seeing all the stuff that goes into that, I would have called you crazy, because I didn't think that freshmen got that opportunity. But here at ACU, everyone gets that opportunity, and it's awesome. And I think that's what sets us apart from other universities. At a young age, we allow people to get that experience, and you only get better from there.
Really not a lot of students across the world get to be able to do what we do here at ACU. If you want to be a journalism major, you want to be in sports broadcasting, this is the place for you. But you get the tools of what it's going to be like. You know, you want to work in Fox Sports, ESPN, those major networks one day, this is where you translate it. This is where you get that exact same experience. This is first class.
And Criminal Justice Department.
Sam Houston with the 4-point lead. 4 seconds less than 12 minutes to go here in the second half.
Tale of two halves.
Back and forth, yeah.
I really think it's been the tale of two halves. First half was really streaky. We saw either one team go on a run, another team went on a run. This has been more Balboa Drago. They've just been exchanging blows one after another, taking hits, and Wildcats have been able to fight their way back into this one, only a 4-point deficit.
I like Rocky IV references anytime we can get it. Charge,
the best one.
Charge on Isiaku.
Offensive foul called on the Bearcats.
And again, these foul calls, the later it gets into the game, the more consequential they are. They've been exchanging a few charge calls. This time it goes Wildcats' way.
Isiaku with his third personal foul, the first 1 to 3 personals on the Sam Houston side tonight. For ACU, Daniels has 3 fouls, and he's out there running point. No Quay Grant on the floor right now for Sam Houston. That's a turnover off of Cameron. Abilene Christian gives it away for the 9th time.
And that's really what's being their downfall right now. There's been a lot of these turnovers, whether it's been by virtue of the ref's whistle or by mistakes like that. Tobias Cameron losing control of the ball gives Sam Houston yet another chance. This is an efficient team. They don't need help.
Well, there's the turnover the other way, trying to get it to Ipe.
Maybe a lot of guys trying to do too much right now. Obviously, this is a very highly contested rivalry game. Emotions are high. You can just tell by the way they're playing. Defense is going to come down to the wire. Mistakes will be inevitable.
Simmons is fouled at the top by Ipe.
Foul called on number 12, Tristan Ipe.
His third personal as well. And that's foul number 7 for Sam Houston. So it's a free throws the rest of the way for Abilene Christian.
And they're finally going to get a chance here. We keep talking about that free throw discrepancy. They're finally going to get a chance to rectify it. This is a team that's very good at shooting free throws, good percentage.
ACU 71% for the year. As a team, Simmons 68% this season. He hasn't been there a lot. Just his 30th attempt all year at the charity stripe.
These teams are separated maybe about 6 or 7 points percentage-wise in their free throw shooting. But those 6 or 7 points, that usually equates to maybe 1 or 2 free throws a game. That could be the difference.
Here comes Nicholas with Allen defending, 13 to shoot it. Seen a lot of teams use, both of these teams use a lot of shot clock here lately. Oh, the tap back for Nicholas. Got his left hand in there.
How about the ups right there from Nicholas? Able to get in the stratosphere, get that tip back, get the points on the board.
This thing's coming down to the wire tonight. We got a fun 10 minutes coming. Simmons, no, tipped around.
Cameron trying to tip of his own, couldn't get it to fall.
Nicholas clears it. Halfway through the second half. These two teams will see each other again on Friday, March 3rd to close the regular season. It'll be in Huntsville.
Good ball movement.
Into the paint, the left-hand finish for Hoofner.
Again, it's just going to be a great exchange of back and forth here, but we keep mentioning it. Sam Houston's doing a real good job of clogging up the paint, not giving ACU a lot of easy looks. They're struggling to find it. They've got good ball movement as well. Credit this Bearcat defense.
Pleasant open, decides to go, and he will finish. And a chance for three.
There's Joe Pleasant. He could have taken a three-point shot right there. He says, no, thank you. I'll get 3 points in the paint. 2 on the shot, hopefully 1 on the free throw. And that's what he gives you. We talked about the rebound value of Joe Pleasant, how big of a role he was going to play contesting those offensive, defensive boards. There he is getting it done on offense, getting that shot to land.
He's now got 11 points and 9 boards. Chance for a double-double night for Pleasant. Pleasant and Allen lead the way with 11 for Abilene Christian.
Roy Grant directing traffic as he does so well.
Just 5 to shoot it. Here goes Hoofner, and he's fouled. Late shot clock foul again for Abilene Christian.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, the shot clock. A lot of more of these possessions are ending in a blown whistle, ending in something getting kicked out of bounds. Maybe, you know, fatigue playing a role in this. These teams have been going 100% this entire game.
It's Hoofner. He'll launch it. Rebound to Hunter Jack Madden. He tried to save it. It ends up being made to save it in, and Nicholas lays it in.
You can critique that play all you want by Hunter and Jack Madden, but 9 times out of 10, he's getting the bounce he wants, and that's going out of bounds, Wildcat way. Smart heads-up play there by Jack Madden, just didn't go his way that time.
Look at Pleasant. He's asserting himself. He leads ACU with 13 points tonight.
Joe Pleasant putting the team on his back so far with these final 10 minutes of the second half. We mentioned how he gets it done on the defensive side of things, how hard he's been working in the paint today. Doing it on the offensive side of the ball, and there's Wildcats flying, balls going out of bounds.
We'll stay at this end with the Bearcats. 15 on the timer.
Hunter Jack Madden doing a real good job this game. He's a good 3-and-D player. He flies around on defense, and then when he's got in the corner, when he's on the wing and he's open, you can bank on him making that shot.
Quay Grant spins, floats, no, gets the offensive rebound. Second chance, back inside they go, and the foul, Scroggins. Able to catch it inside, he's fouled, and free throws on the other side in this 3-point game. Sam Houston in front by 3 over Abilene Christian. Let's talk a little Quay Grant and Joe Pleasant for each side. Send it over to Connor.
Thanks, guys. 2-star seniors on both ends of the court were former teammates of Wichita State last season. Quay Grant, the Bearcat senior, is averaging 13.3 points per game, while Joe Pleasant, his former teammate and Wildcat senior, is averaging 8.7. The duo is leading the way tonight for both programs. Grant with 17 and Pleasant with 13. They are dominating the court tonight.
After the foul on the Wildcats before the media timeout. The line shooting the second of 2, number 40, Kian Scroggins.
Connor Mullins, thank you very much. It's Scroggins at the line. Yeah, how about that? They both spent time with the Shockers last year up there in Kansas on opposite ends in the same conference now. They'll see each other twice this regular season, and Pleasant picks off the pass from Grant.
Talk about the connection right there. And man, how about this game from Joe Pleasant? We talked a lot about Damian Daniels coming in, but Joe Pleasant's eating up 30 minutes so far, getting it done on both ends. Is there some rough and tumble down there in the court?
It's a foul at this end. Usually when someone's on the floor, it's Javion May. He's been all over the place tonight, him and Hunter Jack Madden.
That time the call did not go his way. Refs have become more impactful, have made their presence known more in the latter half of this game.
Hunter Jack Madden, a junior out of Australia, misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Started at Otero Junior College, first-year Wildcat. Keeps the difference at 3 with that miss.
If you're Quay Grant, you're looking to keep the momentum going right now. Been doing a good job so far for the Bearcats. Can't let the Wildcats get their way back into this.
Sam Houston's led the entire second half. Oh, they're gonna add to it with a two-hand flush. Iziagu, rib rattler.
And that is a momentum changer, momentum continuer for the Bearcats. As you mentioned, they've been on top all the time so far in this second half.
Allen with 12 to shoot. Spins through, it's a loose ball. Chance to run. In transition, Grant, yes!
Quay Grant.
7-point lead for the Bearcats. Timeout, Abilene Christian. The two-hand flush and a 7-point lead for Sam Houston.
Get ready for an entire week in WAC Vegas. More teams, more games. The 2023 Hercules Tires WAC Basketball Tournament. March 6th through the 11th at the Michelob Ultra Arena and the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. For ticket information, go to wacsports.com.
The world needs more light bringers and courageous leaders who inspire us, game changers and risk takers who never play small, creative thinkers and God seekers who uplift us. You see, the future is ours to create. We hold it in our hearts. We mold it with our hands. We light the fire within.
Back in Moody Coliseum, Sam Houston holding ACU scoreless for 2.5 minutes, leading by 7 over Abilene Christian here in the second half with 6.5 to go. Big game tonight. Sam Houston trying to make a push to the postseason. They currently sit in second place in the resume seeding. They're looking for some tournament success that they haven't had as of late. Right now, they would be the 2 seed in WAC Vegas.
Yeah, what you're looking at there is the point system. Got changed up a little bit, but that's going to be everything in your season is going to be the opponents you play, how good of a season they had, who wins and loses against the opponents you won and lost against. It's a lot more similar to the FCS football playoff system, if anyone's familiar with that. Essentially, all that means, everything matters, especially this game here tonight.
It's crazy. It takes into account your non-conference schedule as well. And Sam Houston's non-conference was unbelievable. Wins at Oklahoma and Utah and South Dakota, Northern Illinois. I mean, it just unbelievable season that these Bearcats have had at 17-6. Hunter Jack Madden, a big-time finish. And Abilene Christian, they're hanging around in this thing, but they've trailed the entire second half.
Hunter Jack Madden right there, that's important. Able to find a chink in the armor, especially down low in the paint. That's where Sam Houston has been so dominant this game.
And to the paint and up and through the putback for Iziagu, who's having himself a nice second half.
He's the safety net for this Bearcats offense, getting a lot of those putbacks.
Cameron Steele, no good on a 3. That's an underlying story for Abilene Christian right now. Cameron Steele, the junior out of Minnesota, he is now 0 for 11 in his last 5 games combined. Up and under. What a finish for Grant. Oh my!
Quay Grant able to finish and finish with swagger. He comes up, gets the basket, and comes out shrugging.
Timeout Sam Houston, look at that finish.
Just look at the takeoff right there. Nice move, finesse to get that in. And he's just been putting on a show, putting on a clinic all night. Quay Grant, we mentioned him earlier. He was our impact player, and he's demonstrating why. It's 5 minutes and 32 seconds left in the game, and he's already at 21 points. A lot of that's come down low, and thanks to his athleticism, he's also been facilitating on the offensive end, passing the ball around. He's got his share of assists, got his share of hockey assists. Good game for Quay Grant.
You ready for these career numbers? He's playing his 145th game tonight. Over 2,100 career points, almost 780 field goals made. I mean, just unbelievable. He's had an unbelievable career. 770 rebounds in his time. He was incredible at West Texas A&M, then transfers to Wichita State, now having a heck of a year with Sam Houston.
Getting it done in his career, and he's definitely getting it done tonight. It's up to the Wildcats to respond here on offense.
Hunter Jack Madden no good on that three.
The rare miss from Hunter Jack Madden. He's having a good game.
Abilene Christian needs a stop at this end, though, down 9. When you're down 9, it feels like 20 to this team because of how good Sam Houston's defense is. Hard to penetrate it. Hoofner draws a foul. Draws the foul with 8 on the timer. I think it's a foul on Simmons. Abilene Christian wanted to travel, gets the foul first.
That's what Simmons was signaling, but he's not wearing the pinstripe, so he's not going to get it. That's going to go on the Arion Simmons. Charity stripe points, opportunity here for the Bearcats, as they've grown so accustomed to.
That's just the 6th foul for ACU. But this is a shooting foul, but what it does mean is it puts Sam Houston in the bonus the rest of the way as well, with 4:52 to go.
Largest lead of the night so far for Sam Houston. They are up by double digits, and they show no signs of slowing down. They're 4 for their last 5 field goals.
Hoofner, he had 4 threes at UTA in that loss, which matched a career high. He's done that a handful of times this year for the Bearcats. Just 1 3 tonight, but he still got 15 points. 8 of 8 at the stripe is Hoofner.
And as you mentioned, the Bearcats are not relenting on defense. This oppressive man coverage is really locking the Wildcats down. Nothing going in the paint.
Pleasant on the move, 10 to shoot it. Daniels, a 3 that he needed Abilene Christian to get back within 8.
And that feels like the shot of adrenaline that ACU offense needed. We were talking about how down and out they were being their largest deficit of the night. They needed a big electric play to get them back into it, and who else but the impact player Damian Daniels morphing into a shooter.
Powers for the answer, yes! It's a Bearcat barrage and an 11-point lead. What an answer from Powers. Simmons, the response is no good. The big-time rebound for Nicholas Jr. How about these Bearcats?
And Arion Simmons is not having a night at all. He's 0 for 5 from field, 0 for 3 from downtown. Again, you're going to go back and you're going to look at a lot of these open shots, shots that usually characteristically these players would make, not making them tonight. Down by 11.
They've made their last 3 shots. That was just the 5th 3 of the night earlier. Oh, it's another one! Powers banks it home! Oh my goodness!
It's a 14-point deficit right now that the Wildcats have to try and claw their way out of with 3 minutes to go.
A little luck of the Irish a month early. That was incredible.
I think it's safe to say Powers is feeling pretty good right now.
Simmons will launch that. And the Bearcats with 2:45, up 14. Their largest lead.
And this is what it was going to come down to. This is no secret. Can ACU stay with the Bearcats offensively? Defensively, we knew this was going to be a fight. There was no doubt about either of these two teams' defenses. The only question was the offensive production of the Wildcats, and we saw it early on. Not so much here lately.
It's a bump on Pleasant here. We have a timeout on the floor. Sam Houston on their way, up 14, 2.5 left. Here's what's coming up for Sam Houston. Quick rematch. They just played UTA last Saturday. They'll get them again in 4 days' time in Huntsville at Tarleton. Close trip up to Stephenville, and then big home games with California Baptist, and then maybe the game of the year with Southern Utah goes to Huntsville. ACU, what's coming up? Maybe the game at New Mexico State, depending on what the WAC informs the league, and then at Grand Canyon before 2 home games with Stephen F. Austin, big rivalry, and Utah Valley on the 25th. It doesn't get easier for Abilene Christian coming up.
Let's get into rivalry time of the year. We had this game. We're going to have that SFA game. A lot of Wildcat action, all on ESPN+. Going to be a whistle blown on the court here. Looks like it's going to send Deba to the line.
It's a foul on Dante Powers. And how good has Powers been here? A couple of gigantic threes. He banks one in. I mean, he's had a huge moment here lately.
You can talk about the impact that he's had on offense, the points that he's put on the board, obviously surmounting this enormous lead for the Bearcats. But his greatest impact maybe is you could hear a pin drop right now in Moody. This was a crowd that was on their feet. They were getting in a chance. They were getting excited. Obviously, this is a huge game. A handful of threes from Powers, and they don't have that same energy.
That big stretch, these last 4 minutes, it was a 14-3 run for Sam Houston. You're talking about with 6 minutes left. I mean, to close this thing out, they've been outstanding down the stretch. Both ends of the floor. Up 15, 2 minutes left.
And
looking
again,
for win number 18.
This is a defense that held Seattle U to 16 points in the entire second half. This Wildcats team, not the same story here.
Inside, Iziagu. You get Grant, who can create, find somebody, and Iziagu, the recipient, he's had himself a night, 11 points. Cameron open, and 3 no good. Iziagu with a rebound, his 8th, 11 points and 8 rebounds tonight for big number 1.
Well, I was said earlier that this game was looking like Balboa Drago. Right now it's turning into more Creed Drago. More of a blowout, one-sided affair. And it did not look like this coming in. It's just been this massive run that the Bearcats have been on, and they have not let up. It's a 17-point lead now, which if you told me that a few minutes ago, I would have called you insane, but 17 points now for the Bearcats.
Iziagu to transfer from Kansas State. 47 games played, a couple of years with those Purple Wildcats up there. Now he's playing against the Purple Wildcats, and it's a foul here.
Foul called on Tobias Cameron.
Cameron for ACU.
That's his second of the game, team foul number 9.
And again, when you look at the discrepancies and you're going to go back and you're going to do the post-op of what went wrong if you're a Wildcat, one of the biggest, most glaring errors in the statistics is going to be just straight up the field goal percentage. Sam Houston, this is what they did great all season. They're shooting at about a 47% clip. Tonight they shot at 56%. ACU only 39. And a lot of that in large part is due to Sam Houston. They've been locking it down. This man defense has been great of clogging the paint.
More than likely the final time these two teams could ever play. I mean, it depends on how the schedules come out. They want to get together for some non-conference. Daniels, that'll be a long 2. And a timeout for Abilene Christian with a minute 12. But, you know, it's been fun to watch these two go at it. They were in the Southland together when Abilene Christian joined it back in 2013 when they moved Division I. And they played Sam Houston yearly. And some epic battles in Old Moody Coliseum, the 18-19 year, a game that went to double overtime that Sam Houston won. The Bearcats won a crazy one in Huntsville a few years ago as well. ACU, they played the Teague Center, and we had the buzzer beater a year ago from Jaden Ray, who's actually out for the year now after getting hurt at SFA a few weeks ago for Sam Houston. But there's been some classic games between these two. We'll have one more. It'll be in Huntsville March 3rd, but it's tough to see this one go away for what's happened, because they moved to the WAC together 2 years ago, and Sam Houston off they go to Conference USA next year.
It sure is, and a lot of these teams is going to be missing all these good rivalries. ACU, SFA, Tarleton, Sam Houston. These West Texas, Central Texas teams are going to miss this Sam Houston one, though, for sure.
A minute to go as the Bearcats, those road wins really get you those points in that resume seeding.
For sure.
This would be a good one.
And especially, we're talking about how everything matters. You don't think they're going to come back and they're going to look at this game. They're going to see an ACU squad that was 9-2. The only 2 losses were by 2 points each, respectively. And then they're going to come in here and they're going to blow out the Wildcats. That is going to be huge for seeding, huge for standing. Those points are going to go way up for the Bearcats.
How about 40 second-half points for Sam Houston? For a team that just, locks it down defensively. They've given up 30 in the second half, but it hasn't mattered at all. And up 15 with 43 seconds to go. They did that to an Abilene Christian defense. You mentioned it, how good they were in the second half of games last week. But Sam Houston 40 in the second half tonight.
Yep, no, for sure. And you're looking at the ACU did what they wanted from downtown. They shot 40%, but a few of these shots they should have shot more. Again, just like that, Emmanuel Allen kind of had an open look there, and you could tell when he's running back in the transition, he's definitely frustrated with himself. Because you look at the stats, 40% is good. Tonight, with the amount of open shots that they afforded themselves, should have been closer to 45, 50%. You add a few more of those shots, and this is a competitive game that we're going to see in the last 15 seconds rather than the ball being dribbled out near half court.
Sam Houston will let the shot clock run off. It'll be the 3rd win in a row for Sam Houston over Abilene Christian.
And how big was this for them? We talked about the big loss that they had to UTA. This really prevented their season. They stumbled a little bit against UT Arlington. This prevented their season from really, surely and truly falling apart. Especially you're coming into a place like Abilene. We talked about the dominance that the Wildcats have had in movie, and to put up such a dominant performance, 77-62 is going to be your final. It's nothing less than impressive.
Big time win for Sam Houston on the road. Win number 18 as they go to 8-4 in the WAC, a 77-62 win. A road win. They've now won 6 out of their last 7. And this team is going to be a team to reckon with when it comes to the tournament in WAC Vegas. Sam Houston's going to be a tough out.
They came in here and they did exactly what they needed to do. When you looked at the strengths of what their teams were, they shot the ball incredibly well. And what did they need to do on the defensive side of the ball? They needed to disrupt the passing lanes. They only had 5 steals to ACU's 7, but they were surely making it a much harder job for ACU to drive down low, to get into the paint. They took it away and forced ACU to make a lot of those open threes. And in a night where they were struggling at times, we already mentioned the shooting percentage probably should have been higher. They were struggling at times to make those open threes. It just hurt ever so much more that they weren't able to drive in the paint, and they weren't able to get those easy layups, those easy 2s. And Sam Houston, that's in large part credit to their defense.
How good was Quay Grant tonight, our player of the game?
Quay Grant, I mean, you can't say enough about Quay Grant. He was offensively and defensively a stud. He had it on both ends of the court, 21 points. And we're about to hear from him right here as Zach Carlisle is going to give him the interview.
I'm impressed by his effort right there. That's pretty good because this is – not easy to get over that table. He was trying to get around and walk down. Now we're going to sit down and chat with our player of the game after Sam Houston wins it over Abilene Christian tonight. And Quay, congratulations on the win, first of all.
Appreciate it.
How big is that, that you didn't play the way you wanted to maybe last Saturday at UT Arlington, but to come back and get a bounce-back win, how does it feel out there tonight?
It just felt good. All week we just put emphasis on just coming out, playing hard. Last week was what we won ourselves. So, like you said, it's good to be out here with the guys and just fight hard, compete, and win the game.
Yeah, I mean, these are 2 teams that both play really good defense, yourself and Abilene Christian as well. But to put up 40 points in the second half and to close this game out, how'd you guys do that tonight?
Just following the game plan, listening to coach, staying disciplined, keeping our composure, just getting stops, let our defense be offense. So when we're playing good defense, usually our offense is rolling too. So.
Well, how did it feel out there for you offensively as well? And then I tell you what, outside of that as well, Dante Powers hit a couple of big shots there in the second half. How did you see those shots fall as well?
I always love to see my teammates make good shots, make big shots. We like we said, we in the gym, we working. Like we went over again. Like practice was, we just been practicing. We're in the gym for real.
How fun was it to play against Joe Pleasant?
Man, that was my roommate, Wichita State. That's my guy. It was fun. We talked about this when we both committed back into the WAC. So We still got another one at which, I mean, I'm sorry.
Back home.
Yeah.
That's right. That was really fun to watch you tonight. Congratulations on the win. We
appreciate
appreciate you joining us.
Appreciate it. All glory to God, man. Thank you.
Way Grant as Sam Houston comes on the road and wins at 77-62 over Abilene Christian. This has been a presentation of the Western Athletic Conference on ESPN. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. Until next time, Zach Carlisle, Cohen Carpenter, Connor Mullins, and the gang saying so long, take care, good night from Abilene, Texas.